subscribe. Bye. Hello to everyone. I'm Alberto from Lobos. Today we're going to analyze Lasai's entry into the shelter, a dog that was rescued in Murcia who only allowed himself to be seen at night, and they did an amazing job tracking him, to routine him, and in the end, with the trap cage, it was possible to rescue him without any difficulties. Lasai is a wolf dog weighing about 110 pounds. He's a very big and very strong dog. He's not neutered, with the challenges that this brings in an already adult dog who is around 4, 5, or 6 years old approximately. We're not sure. He's a dog that's not difficult. He's relatively easy to work with and handle, but he's a dog that doesn't allow for any mistakes. There's a big difference between a dog that's difficult to work with, a dog where the magnitude of consequence or the risk of working with him is very high, like that the learning curve of the dog is low. The dog is easy to handle if you understand his needs, and a dog that's really easy if you know how to read and understand the needs he has, and he allows for very few mistakes when working with him. Lasai is a dog that's very similar to Brave. If you remember, Brave came from Barcelona with a significant issue of reactivity and aggression towards humans. Quite important, but it still wasn't confirmed. What's the difference between a difficult and complicated dog and a relatively easy dog that doesn't allow for mistakes? Like Lasai and Brave, they still haven't confirmed a behavior pattern based on a previous state that might repeat itself. And really, the danger is that either of these two dogs reaches a point where they confirm a bite. We're going through all the preliminary steps that lead a dog to confirm that bite and turn it into a behavior pattern, and that internally they decide to step away from situations where they're not necessarily comfortable biting. Humans, both Lasai and Brave, tend to get overly excited and open their mouths and lightly bite humans. This is very common. For example, it's common in greyhounds, in podencos, in all kinds of dogs. The only real difference is the biting capacity that both Lasai and Brave have. With the dogs, both are really strong. They're dogs that have no self-control at all. Still, they're not far from understanding the basics of dog socialization in optimal terms. The real issue was shy. Starting to bite in a way that might seem harmless at first is a problem that many dogs have. And it's something that a lot of trainers have to deal with. A person who decides to adopt one of these two dogs, who isn't clear on the metrics, and feels like they can afford to be lax when it comes to things like playtime or how to feed them, could run into a lot of issues. With this type of dog, with certain dogs, this can lead to problems. Dogs start with low-intensity issues, and if you can't stop it in time, problems worsen. What can be done? Dogs always start off with a very low intensity in the problem they present, and if you don't know how to stop it in time, if you don't know how to detect it, if you don't know how to read it, or if you don't know how to work in the right direction, all these problems always get worse. Over time and always get worse. But what can be done? In these cases, the best advice we can give is to try to develop an intuition for when it's really okay to have physical contact with the dog and when it's not.
Boots up to my chin. Many men try to reach you. Many men have failed. Well, if you want to get to heaven, you gotta raise a little hell. I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down, sir. Thanks for watching the video. Facing all the secrets. Now, will you find me now?
Hope you'll find me.
Bye.
It's important to remember that the work with this type of dog is to help them understand that the fluctuation of their states towards the calm state they are internally seeking comes from their human guide. When that happens, what ends up occurring is that the dog recognizes that the way he was experiencing life compared to the way his human guide is offering him to experience it is infinitely better and easier. On this particular training route, Lasai is going to take a walk with Arkham, who is a 10-month-old American wolf dog that isn't neutered, and with Hulk, a 2-year-old Rottweiler who is also not neutered. What we're trying to do on this particular walk is to give all 3 dogs a vital reference, that they can share both space and activities with other males who are also not neutered. Wow. Now the goal is to find the perfect adopter who can continue the work we've started. Because the real work we do with Lasai, and that needs to keep going in their next family and home, is all about working towards their well-being. I'm Alberto from Wolf Refuge. Thanks for coming.